As you can tell by the title of this video, we'll be talking about the sarcophagi of the Muses. But you might be thinking, what the heck is a sarcophagus, and do you mean that one band that sings the song Madness? Well, sadly we won't be listening to Muse, but what I will be doing is talking about these pieces of funerary art and how they were important to the art history of the Romans. First off, let's begin with the story of how the Muses came to be. There are many different origin stories of these muses stating that there were only three, not nine, or that their parents were not the ones stated. According to the website womanantiquity.wordpress.com, the story most believed is that of the poet Hesiod. Zeus disguised himself as a shepherd in order to woo Mnemosyne, who was a daughter of Uranus and Gaia. Zeus slept with her for 9 consecutive nights, resulting in the conception of the 9 muses. Once they were born, they were given to the nymph Eupheme and the god Apollo, who taught them the arts. Apollo later brought them to the temple of Zeus on Mount Helicon, where they are dedicated to creation, imagination, and the inspiration of artists. Each muse represents a different artistic form and have various items with them according to their art. This one is Urania, the celestial one, representing astronomy, the globe, and a compass. Next is Talia, the flourishing or blossoming one. She represents comedy and her symbols would be a comic mask, shepherd's hook, and ivy wreath. Third is Terpsichore, embodying the art of dance with the symbols of a lyre and plectrum. Fourth, we have Polyhymnia, the singer of many hymns represented with hymns of veil and grapes. Fifth is Melpomene, the chanting one who embodies tragedy. Her symbols are a tragic mask, sword, club, and kathornos, also known as boots. Sixth is Erato, the passionate or lovely, her art being love poetry represented by a cithara. Seventh is Euterpe, the one who rejoices well, showing the art of music, song, and lyric poetry. Her symbols are aloes, fan pipes, and a laurel wreath. Eighth, we have Clio, the proclaimer representing history. She would hold scrolls, books, and a cornet. Lastly, there is Calliope, the major in epic poetry. Her symbols would be a writing tablet, stylus, and lyre. The Muses are mythological personas that were very important to both the Greeks and Romans, being represented through all sorts of art mediums. In the book Homer, The Poetry of the Past, by Andrew Ford, he dedicates a chapter to the use of the Muses in Homer's Iliad. The direct quote from the Iliad is, "Tell me now, Muses, who have your homes on Olympus, for you are goddesses and are present, and know all, but we hear only Cleos and do not know anything." For Homer to mention Muses in his writings was very important in Greek history, because here he is asserting that they are goddesses, and almost assuring the people that they are present during these ongoing events in the story. And now to answer the question about the sarcophagus. You may have visited a museum and seen these big stone coffins, mostly associated with Egyptian history. Well, the accurate name of these stone coffins is sarcophagus, and they are typically adorned with inscriptions and even mummy portraits on the front. Inside, there are dead bodies and mainly would be of the royal or the rich from then. For example, in the book Art Through the Ages, on page 222, it shows the sarcophagus of the mummy of Artemidorus. This portrays a main example that many would know as a tomb and shows mummy portrait where the face of the person would be under the cover. Later on in Roman art, this traditional stylized portrait mask would be replaced with painted wood panels. The two sarcophagi we want to focus on will now tie in these two topics and help you understand them more clearly. I know, finally. The first is known as the marble sarcophagus with the contest between the Muses and the Sirens. This piece can currently be found in the archives of the Met Museum. It is dated back to the 3rd quarter of the 3rd century AD or Roman history. The story portrayed is that the deities Athena, Zeus, and Hera are assembled at the far left, presiding over a musical contest between the Muses and the Sirens. The Muses are defeating the Sirens, who are creatures that are half woman and half bird, that lured men to destruction with their song. It is not exactly known who the sarcophagus initially belonged to, or what tomb it presided in, but it was owned by the Del Nero family before the first half of the 17th century. They had converted this sarcophagus into a chest with a keyhole cut into the upper center of the frontal panel and had their coat of arms, a rampant hound, carved on the ends of it. This sarcophagus could be seen as an example based off the Asiatic sarcophagi. According to the Art Bulletin Volume 4, Number 2, the author describes that common to all of them are an architectural treatment of the fronts and a well-defined cycle of subjects or figure types. One can clearly see the subjects portrayed through the front relief and the architectural similarity to other Asiatic sarcophagi. To bring this video to an end, we'll learn about the piece named Sarcophagus of the Muses. This sarcophagus was created during the 2nd century and can currently be found at the Louvre Museum in France. The artist is unknown but was a part of the former collection of Cardinal Albani. The sarcophagus greatly illustrates the ideal of the cultivated man as manifested in Roman funerary art of the 2nd to 4th centuries. According to the Louvre website, artisans would turn to Greek mythology, drawing an implicit connection between the subject chosen and the reliefs of the deceased. The image on the sarcophagus shows the cultivated man represented in portraits of Socrates and the poet Hesiod, or who could also be Homer. It was believed that the practice of literature and philosophy ensured immortality and the soul's salvation. Although it is mainly inspired by Greek art, it was most likely made for a cultivated Roman who had an attachment to Greek culture, especially with having the models drawn from Greek art. The Muses themselves were representation of the arts and were also greatly represented all throughout art history in later eras. Hopefully from this video you were able to take something new out of it and that your interest in Greek art or just art history overall will grow. Thanks for watching.